All right, so it's time to run our own little CMAs here, our comparative market analysis to see what our after repair values are, ARVs. So this is really important because if you're leveraging on these, you're going to know what the bank is going to say the property's worth, because they're going to have an appraiser do it. And this is exactly what the appraiser does. And we're going to make sure that we're not over investing and putting more money in the property than what it's worth. So really important that we can do this. And if you look at the website there's the sources. And again, that number one is the top source. Your experienced real estate agent in that market, specifically in the rental market, is even better, is going to give you the best comparative market analysis that you can have. Now, again, this information that I'm going to show you here is a great way to trust but verify, right? I want you to be able to say, oh, well, why did you only give me one comp? I need at least three, right? So if somebody doesn't give you at least 3 to 5 comps, then we need a second opinion. So this is knowledge that's going to help you make sure that you're keeping the team on their toes. Let's get into this. So Real Estate Agent is the best. Another platform that we use, and you can see, is Zillow. And this is going to be a little dependent on the non-disclosure states too. So disclosure, non-disclosure, these states will either allow public record for sale prices, or they will not allow public record for sale prices. Fortunately, we work in a lot of states that are disclosure states, so that they post the actual sales price. That's nice, so we can see that. So we use Zillow. Zillow's a great platform. I'm going to walk you through how we do this. Another one that we use is PropStream. So I'll compare the two of them right quick on a property. And some other sites that we will use to pull information is the county or city assessor sites. And you might see those as like tax sites, courthouse sites, those kinds of things. And then a final note here for the sources is finished square footage and bedrooms matter. And that's a massive, massive item that the appraisers will use in order for them to tell the banks what the property's worth. All right, how to generate an accurate and comparative market analysis on Zillow. So jumping right into this, before we got there, I said CMA is what we use to calculate to determine our ARV, and we need at least 3 to 5 comparable properties. Before my team even runs a comparative market analysis, I've got a 5-minute quick review qualify. I don't want to run every single property through this process. So in the first 5 minutes, I should be able to say, hey, is this in or is this out? Do I need to spend another 10 minutes on this deal? And we do that with a couple of ways. First of all, in the last module, the market analysis module, I said you should create a zip code list, right? Your buy box and zip code. Very simple. Is this opportunity inside your buy box and your zip codes? The location inside of that zip, is that good to your knowledge? And the rent and price. And the rent and price we're going to look at with a very quick, dirty ratio here. And I call this the quick review rent ratio. And what I do is I'm going to take that gross monthly rent and divide it by the ARV. And for right now, say I could just use this estimate and say, hey, am I even anywhere close? So the last thing I'll do is get on Google Maps and Street View and spin around and make sure it's good. That very first one is going to save you a ton of time. So let's jump into this with that same one that we used for the Zillow rent range. We figured $1,350 was safe rent range on that property. And to get the quick Zestimate, we could go this one right here we used. And the Zestimate on this one is 170. That's jumped up drastically in the last 2 or 3 months. All right, so we were at $1,350. And our ARV is, now it's 170, right? So let's take a look at this. So we just go 1350 divided by 170. And we're looking for something that's 0.8 or greater. And this is within tolerance. I would say let's still run this because I know that that's high. And we're low on our rent. So I would still run this deal. Another way, the 1% rule, we look at that. If we take the 1% rule, simple way of remembering the 1% rule is the $1,500 a month is a $150,000 house. That's the 1% rule, right? So $1,500 divided by 15 or $150,000 gives us 0.01, and that's greater than 0.008, right? So we would run that deal. Again, this is super dirty. This is not to make the investment or not. This is worth my time to take the next step. You can see in this particular one, if we were at 1350 and probably closer to where this house was when we started, around 160, then we are definitely above that 0.08 pocket. And we wouldn't be all in on that 160. We'd be under that. So that's why it's in or out. So we're rolling forward with this one. Let's keep going. 1 minute prep time, pull open PropStream or Zillow and the Mayo calculator. So my team a lot will use PropStream rather than Zillow. Zillow's free. PropStream we have a paid subscription for. And I actually have a link and a code for you guys if you want to take a look at that. If you don't have to have it, but I love PropStream because it gives me more information faster. Back to the disclosure states, non-disclosure states. Some states don't post their sales price of properties. Some states do. So it's going to be about which area you're in. All right, so once we get those open, 3 minutes to qualify. Assume any property condition not included requires money in repairs. And we'll think about 20% of the properties reviewed will yield a fuel review. So out of the 10, say I run 10 properties across my desk today, 2 of them I'm going to run through the full review based off the first 1 and 2 of this scenario. So we're looking at ARV here. Let's get on Zillow first. So Zillow recently sold Zillow. And we're going to do this, guys. So what I like to do is just duplicate this. And now I want to go to the map. Not there. I want to go back here. So in the general map view, select sold. So we're going to run across the top here. We're going to go to sold, apply, and then we're going to go home type, same as the subject property. Oops, this one here. And that's going to be houses. Deselect all. I'm only looking at houses. That's it right there. Apply. And then in the more button. So here's where I'm going to dial in. From the Zillow listing or pool information from PropStream or the county or city assessor site, you can get that there as well too. No lower range unless you're in a major city, plus or minus approximately 20% of subject property. Now, everything that I've got listed here is exactly the way that an appraiser is going to look at this property. And why that's important is because we are going to leverage debt on this property, and the banks are going to hire an appraiser to mitigate their risk and tell them how much the property is worth, their opinion, right? So we're going to price this thing the same way an appraiser was. So we're 20% plus or minus of the square footage. So our square footage is 1442. So on here, we're going to go to the top side, square feet on the max, 1442, 20%, 1442 times 1.2. We're at that, 1442 times 1.2, 1730. So there's probably a 1750 button on here. Boom. All right, lot size not as important on this particular property. So if it's property has 5+ acres, or in a city, if it's a 1 acre, most of them are 1/4 acre, this one, it's not going to matter. Year built. So we're going to go plus or minus 10 years of the subject property. Our year built is 1960. So I just hit home details and I can see 1960. So I'm going to go 1950 to 1970. All right, sold in the last, let's start with 90 days. And he said the most valuable information that you're going to have is the most recent information. Start with 90 days and go up to 6 months. Confirm same area. General adjustments we'll look at. Was the property sold as is or flip? Okay, great. So single story must have no views. Sold in the last, let's try 90 days. We're going to try 60 days first to see if, sometimes 90 days. If it's a volatile market, like if things are plunging, if things are rising, the closest you can be to yesterday is the best. Look at that beauty. You got to watch. You get sidetracked looking at pictures here. Always watch that. All right, 90 days. Let's apply. Now the next thing I want to do is make sure that I am the same area. So when I apply this now, I can see my comps that match just by these things. Okay, great. So let me look at this map and see where I'm at. This map, boom, Alice, just above the creek on Hodge in Alice neighborhood. Just above the creek on Hodge in Alice neighborhood. That's this one right here. There's Alice. Cool. So these three right here, and if I look at these guys, I can see them when they roll up. I recognize another house in here. Yep. All right. So the hard part on some of these are, you know, when they were purchased, like this one is was sold at 70. Somebody got a great deal on this. This was probably a cash buyer, and the house was probably in rough shape. And I can sometimes tell by when was the last time it was sold. So it was only one sale on record. So this thing was probably, you know, generational type house, may not have been sold. So that was probably not in the greatest condition. Let's go back. 150. I do like that one. Let's take a look at that one. So 150. Yeah, this looks decent. Nothing crazy. Looks like there's some missing where there used to be a dishwasher there. They put shelves. Nothing high end. This is very typical rent grade in Memphis. So knowing the area, I know that I would move forward with this in my estimating phase to say, okay, this is 150. But I would also want to put a little more. I would mark this. This one is good. I would put that information in there, square foot, bedrooms, bathrooms, and we could get a price per square foot. Some people use price per square foot to figure out the subject property. But I would say we're pretty much in the ballpark at that 150 range. And what else is in here in this neighborhood? Remember, we need 3 to 5. That's one. And then the other thing I caution too is you're gonna find what you're looking for. So now if I set out on this thing and I'm looking for 150s, I'm probably going to find them. If I'm being objective, I'm seeing a lot of these sales are much lower than 150. So we're at 90 days here. You can open up to see if there's anything else, but I can dive into these things and see, okay, what does 136 get me? Bedrooms, I'm one less. So this one's been turned. So one less bedroom. I don't have square footage marked. And it sold at 136 a couple months ago. Okay, so this one would be a comp, but I'd have to make an adjustment for that bedroom. And different markets can be different amounts, but if I figure the 10,000, 5 to 10,000 in a bedroom, that puts us at 146, right around that 150 mark again. So I would definitely be leaning towards 150. All right. The other thing we could do is bump the time back too. See if there's anything else sold in the last. Let's go 6 months and see what happens. So there's a lot more sales in there. And look at this guy though. Boom. What is that? That was a big difference there. So this one I would throw this out because the finish level, it's got an upstairs glass shower. So I would throw this out because of the finishes. But another one, I could reason that this would help our appraised value, but not in this scenario. On the front side, on appraise, on the offer side, I'm staying conservative. I'm giving reasons why this wouldn't work because I'm thinking like the appraiser. Bathrooms, this one's got another full bath. I would have to adjust for that, but that tells me there's nice houses in the neighborhood, right? Here's a 165, a 3.2 165. Remember, we're 4.2. So, nothing crazy. And this is a standard Memphis renter flip here. So I would use this one as well too. So what we do is go ahead and put these in to find our average number. So we 3 to 5, okay? So that's how I do this. I could use a spreadsheet to track. I'm going to track the property address. I'm going to track the bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. And I could even keep in mind too days on market too. Sometimes that's helpful more for the flipping than on the rental side. The reason why I'm not going to build out the spreadsheet for this one to figure my average square foot and then multiply by the subject square foot is because I want to run the same thing through PropStream. And in PropStream, what I'm going to do is, let's see, 4437. I'm going to go ahead and put the address in here. Hodge. There we go. And it's going to pull up this guy. So as soon as I get this up, all I have to do is click on details. You see this is going to be a lot easier running it this way. Let me pull this wider a little bit here. All right, so now that this is open, now I can go ahead and run a lot faster scenario here. I enter the address, select the property by clicking details, select comparables and nearby listings to search for cash transactions. And this helps me on the front side seeing what the cash buyers are purchasing these for my offer. But then I want to also look for this to get my ARV as well. So I go comparables and nearby listings. And I can select cash to see which in the transaction type which what the cash investors are pulling here. But right out of the gate, I can see these green ones and I can stay in my area. Remember, I don't want to go outside of my area. Green ones are cash. Look at all these cash buyers. When I'm looking at this, I'm saying a lot of investors are buying in this area. Very easy to see. These are all cash purchases. So what I would do is look at the ones that look the best as far as our criteria: bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage. Those are the three major things. So if I'm looking at this and I want to see the ones, I'm looking for my ARV, what's my after repair value, not my before value. My before value, these cash prices are probably prices that will help me see what I should pay for before I make the repairs. So let's look inside of here. Let's go number 2 is closer at that 140. And if I look at this, remember we're 4.2. We've got one more bedroom, one more bathroom, and right about the same amount of square feet as this. So if I added another bathroom in there, our bedroom, we're at 140, back to 150. Still feeling that 150 is the safe range here. What we can do is we can do an export here. So I'll show you, we'll run that. As I'm running my quick numbers, I would run with the 150 as soon as I find those 3 comps. And I've done that on Zillow and I'm doing it on PropStream. Here's one that was financed. What's this one? So this one at 158. And there it goes. 158, 159. It's a 3.2, 1,400 square feet, built in 57. You know, all these, you get into these types of neighborhoods, you're going to see all the same year builds. But if you see one bump up to like 1980, 1990, we can't use that because it's outside of the 10 plus or minus of the year built. What I like about this is it gives us our price per square foot. So if we wanted to, we could take this price per square foot, average all of them. At the 150, we're 1,400 square foot, we're 113. So if I went our 1,442 times 113, that gives us 162 on this house. So ultimately, that's where we're going to run. I think 150 is the safe pocket. One way I can run the CMA directly off of this, and again, I don't need access to MLS to do this. All I need is the paid subscription to PropStream to do that. It's relatively inexpensive. You can get on there when you're running deals. Or you can lean on your real estate agent to provide that information for you. So let's get through this. Let's go ahead and pop some of these off here that I don't like. I don't like the ones that probably were in rough shape. So if I'm picking my ARV, like on this one, why? Open in new tab. Why is that one so little? Can I look at the pictures? Any pictures? There's a satellite saying that this one was bought by an LLC, so it's likely the cash sale. And yep, cash sale, and it was probably in rough shape. This one doesn't have any pictures, but likely that's what it was. So I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to run some that are just, there's a 140, 150, and there's nothing in here that doesn't meet our bedrooms, bathrooms. So these are all good. Even if I were to export all of these without pulling, let me do this. Let me do it like we got in the writing here. 3 to 5 properties. There's 1, 2, 3. Let's pull these rough ones out. 4. Okay. So that takes us, and you see them for, sometimes there'll be portfolios bought in here. Let me get all the X's off here. And that throws things off. So you want to go through and select these ones. Beautiful. Okay. Let's select them and run a report here. MLS sold. 45 days on market, 3-1, 1,600 square feet. Yeah, so that's really right in the pocket. This one, 3-1. So we've got one more bedroom than all of these houses. This one, what year was that one built? 57, okay. 2, 3, 4, let's get one more. 4,600, vacant land. Property type, single family. There we go. And we can keep this down. Let's try 0.25 there actually. There we go. Now this is looking better. All right, let's pop that one out. This one. 25 days on market, 3-1. See, these are all 3-1s. Bedrooms, not marked. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Stick with me now. 149, 58. Let's pop this one out. Okay, now when we could save comps, what I want to do is export them. Actions. Export comps to CSV. And when I do that, I click Actions, Export to CSV. This is going to pull up this little CSV is a comma deleted file, right? Comma separated file. So all that means is it's just basic numbers. So when I get in here, this is very easy then for me to figure out my average. So we picked 3. I thought I had more than 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only given me, it only let me choose 3. Okay, here's our 3, and I can average these. So the sum is, average is 102.32, and I can use the calculator here, which is going to be a little less, so 1442 times 103. We're at 148, puts us at that 150. I'm at 150 all day on this. So safe number is 150, and we use that. We could do that with Zillow, where I would create my own spreadsheet. or we can use PropStream where I'm selecting these. I can export them, and I need at least 3 to 5. We need to be plus or minus 1 bedroom, plus or minus 1 bathroom, plus or minus 20 square feet of finished space. Watch out for what are those called? Split levels. Anything ground level and above is what we count as finished space. And within 10 years, plus or minus for the year built. And you're going to adjust those. Whenever you have, like on all of these, I'm seeing 3 bedroom, and I know I'm 4 bedroom. So if I'm at 150, I know I can get 155. Pushing into 160 because I got another bedroom. So that's where I would be at on this deal. And this works perfect to get our price. And again, we lean back on our team then to provide our actual CMA. Before I make an investment decision, I need a formal CMA by a qualified and experienced real estate agent.